Drax back, baby. Join us for a trick-or-treat tasting, won't you? Looks like somebody in the props department screwed up and read inches instead of feet. And welcome to my castle, and thanks for joining us for the trick-and-treat tasting. Tonight, we have a variety of awesome wines that we're going to try, and we call this the trick-or-treat tasting because we're mixing them with trick-or-treat candies. So let's get started.
Don't you dare hang up.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm sorry. That was, I should have turned my skull phone off and I forgot. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead, I'm sorry. Our Mothervine is our first wine we're going to try. And I'm telling you right now, this is one of my favorite wines. And I know you've always heard that the Drac does not drink wine. That's a lie. The Drac loves wine. And this is one of our best. This is the Mothervine Scuppernong. The smell on this, it's like standing underneath, great Drac's grandfather, his awesome Scuppernong vines. Let's give it a taste. So very good. And I'll tell you what, the candy corn, it pairs so well with this. You get a little bit of that caramel taste of the candy corn. So good. Mixed with that Scuppernong wine. They complement each other so well. Candy corn's great by itself, but with that Scuppernong wine, it is even better. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Now, our next wine and candy pairing we're going to try, this is one of our newest wines. This is called Orange Blossom. We just came out with this when we opened up in our Panama City Beach location. Now, I don't go down there too much because there's so much sun. And you know us vampires don't like a lot of sun, but I hear it's a really cool place. Now, this is a blush wine. It's got a little bit of red and a little bit of white in there. And then we've added some orange, a little bit of orange hint on the end of this. This is very good if you like a mimosa. This will make a very good orange mimosa. So let's give this a taste. Oh yes, it's that sparkling there too. You get a little bit of that sparkling that I really like. Even though, you know, the new vampire movies, they sparkle. I'm more of a Lost Boys type, you know. There's not a lot of sparkling. I like those the best. But I'll tell you what goes well with this is the nerds. So we're gonna take some of these rainbow nerds, pop them into our mouth. Add a little to our wine too. Throw that right in there with the wine. All the different fruit flavors of those rainbow nerds really, really pairs well with that orange taste at the end of our orange blossom. That is a great trick-or-treat candy pairing to go with that orange blossom wine. Let's go to our next now. What do we have? Oh, the Bald Head Red. I love the Bald Head Red so much. I shaved my head just a couple of weeks ago to go just with this. This is a great wine. It is one of our very few wines that we have that have absolutely no muscadine in it. This is 100% pink Catawba grape. A great grape. In that, it's kind of a citrusy taste to this too. You get a little bit of a citrus taste on the end of this. And I tend to like some chocolate, a little bit of that cookie crunch that you get with the Twix to go with this. And that caramel in there too. First, let's taste the wine by itself though. That sweet little citrusy taste. And then we're going to take our Twix, break that open. This one is a non-shareable one. So if your friend wants one, tell him to go get his own. But here we go. Right into that cookie crunch. I got that caramel there. And these teeth, man, I need to get these filed down. They get in my way when I drink the candy. Or eat the candy. Who's drinking candy? I drink blood, not candy. What am I talking about? We're going to take a little bit of that Bald Head Red with that. That Bald Head Red and that caramel and the cookie, they go so well together. And that chocolate tops it all off. Of course, Chocolate is always good with wine. I love chocolate with wine. So that's our Bald Head Red. Again, one of my favorites, but still, Mothervine is still my favorite of everything we have here. But I'm telling you, they're all good. Our next, though, and I'm going to finish my Bald Head first. Our next, though, is our Blackberry wine. Now, all of these wines that we have here, they do have grape in them. This is the only wine that we have here that has absolutely no grape in it. This is 100% blackberry. We press these blackberries just like we press our grapes, but there is no grape in this. And a very good pairing to do with this, as far as your trick-or-treat candies go, is your Twizzlers. I do like a Twizzler because of the red color, you know. I tend to like red a lot, you know, me, Drac, I like the blood. You used to be able to bite the end off these and suck them up like a straw, but I found out the other day you can't do that anymore. So now we're going to dip it into the wine, like this. Take a look at that. And our blackberry is going to taste very, very good with his Twizzlers. Here we go. You know, Twizzlers, they have a strawberry flavor to them. That strawberry flavor and that blackberry blended together like that, it is very good. I love it very much. So I'm going to take another sip of this before we get done. I do love that blackberry. Now, another thing you can do with the blackberry, besides eating your trick-or-treat candy with that, you can actually make a syrup out of this, and it's very good over ice cream. You heat that up a little bit, add a little bit more sugar there, heat that up, make a syrup out of it, pour that on ice cream. Or if you would rather have a milkshake, it makes a very good blackberry milkshake too. Very many good things you can do with that wine. Our next wine is one of our best-selling wine. This is our Blackberry Red, and our pairing with this for our Halloween candy is Three Musketeers. I knew those guys back in the day. They were a pretty cool bunch of guys, but of course I lived a lot longer than them, and I'm still around, and they're not so much. But our Black River Red, like I said, it is one of our best-selling wines. What it is a blend of some of our red muscadines, and you've also got a non-muscadine grape in there, and that grape is called the Pink Catawba. You hear about those up in New York State, mostly, up there, a little bit of Pennsylvania, Ohio. A lot of those northern states have those. I tried to stay out of New York. I had a buddy of mine up there. He was the vampire in Brooklyn, and it didn't work out too well for him, so I don't go up there too much. But the Black River Red, I do love it. You get that muscadine taste at first there, and then that finishes off very well with that Pink Catawba taste. But the candy I prefer with that is that Three Musketeers. So we're going to pop a little bit of that in our mouth. The nougat in that is amazing. The chocolate on top of that, and then that Black River Red, take a sip of that with that. Those flavors all together, it melts in your mouth. You're going to love that one, I'm telling you. That is a great pairing of those two. The nougat and the taste of that muscadine, they really, really complement each other because the sugary taste of that nougat along with the sugary taste of that Black River Red, it's amazing. Now, our next wine that we're going to try is our Queen Anne's Revenge. Now, your Queen Anne's Revenge, this is one of our most expensive wines here at the Duplin winery. It's a little bit more expensive than the other wines, but it has a very complex taste too. It's complex like my bride, the Dracula's bride. She's very complex. Takes me a while to understand what she's talking about most of the time. And that's kind of like the Queen Anne's Revenge. You put it in your mouth, you take a sip of it. You get that muscadine taste, but then at the finish of that, you get the peppery taste. You're like, where'd that peppery taste come from? I have no idea, but it's there, I'm telling you. It is really good. We do these a little bit different as far as our fermentation goes. We ferment these outside. So this is there's no climate control on this. So that gives a little bit of a more complex taste to that. Now, a great candy to go with this is the Snickers. Now, I love a Snickers. You get that nougat that you have in the Three Musketeers, but you get that peanut. So you have that complex, that caramel, that peanut, that nougat, and that chocolate all in one sitting. And it's just almost as complex as our Queen Anne's Revenge. So let's take a bite of our Snickers. I do love the Snickers. And we'll take the Queen Anne's Revenge now. The thing I like about that is you have that Snickers, you have that peanut, a little bit of that salty taste, goes along very well with that sweet taste on the beginning of that Queen Anne's Revenge, and then that peppery taste on the finish. It's almost like it jumps up and sneaks out at you like a ghost jumping out of the closet. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I'm gonna have a little sip more. That is great, I do like that. Now, our next wine that we're going to try though, this is our Sweet Caroline. Now this is the sweetest wine we make, so for all you sweet wine drinkers, this is probably your favorite. It is like 13% sugar content in this. Most of these have been to 10 to 11%. Our Bald-Headed Red was a mid-sweet, about a 7%, 8%. But this Sweet Caroline, you're looking at 13% sugar content in this. So to go along with that, we need a very sweet treat to go with maybe a little bit of a salty taste. So when I think of that, I think of peanut butter and some chocolate. So what we have is for the Halloween season, the trick-or-treat season, we have a Reese's peanut butter pumpkin. So we're gonna taste the Sweet Caroline first by itself. That reminds me, again, of being a little kid underneath my grandfather's vines, eating those. And then that vampire jumped out, bit me, and I've been around forever since then. So I've kind of grown, not older, but wiser. And I started out just drinking with some meat and such, but I'm telling you now, I love the candies with these. And this right here, this pumpkin candy, the Reese's pumpkin candy, that peanut butter, that salty peanut butter, and that very sweet taste of our Sweet Caroline. Those two flavors come together and there's an explosion in your mouth. It is so good. You're going to love this. I'm going to try one more piece. A little bit more of the wine. There we go. That is a great, great pairing right there. I cannot eat the whole thing right now. I've got too much more wine to drink. So let me move my glass out of the way there. And it being fall in the Halloween season, Thanksgiving's coming up. We're going to be having parties. A great party to have is a party where you can bring your pumpkin wine out. Now, if you like pumpkin pie, this reminds me a lot of pumpkin pie. And what do you usually eat with your pumpkin pie? Maybe some whipped cream on top. Some people like to drizzle a little bit of caramel, maybe some chocolate on top of their pumpkin pie over that whipped cream. So what we have paired with our pumpkin is we have paired one of my favorite candies from way back, probably in the 80s when I was doing a lot of clubbing. And we used to drink sweet vines and we would take Rolos. Do you remember the slogan? You can roll a Rolo to your friend. It's chocolate covered caramel from end to end. That was an 80s slogan. I do remember that from back in the day. But these, my grandfather used to give these to me also. One of my grandfathers. I've had many over the years. You know, I have lived for a very long time, and I've had many grandfathers over the years. But these Rolos, all they are, they're chocolate and caramel on the inside. Pairs so well with that pumpkin pie taste. So you're going to get a little bit of cinnamon and nutmeg in the flavor of this. Definitely taste that cinnamon, along with the chocolate and the caramel. Reminds me of eating pumpkin pie with a little bit of chocolate and caramel drizzled on top of it. That is a delicious Thanksgiving, Halloween wine, fall wine. Very, very good. Now, the last thing that we're going to try today is our mulled wine slushy. Now, I've made one here. That has been sitting for a minute, so it's not quite as slushified as I would like it to be. But you guys are going to get it and drink it right away. Now, I've drank all these wines before that, so it's a little bit melted for me, but it's going to be just as good, because what this is our Muscadine Cider, and we mix that. You can use our pumpkin wine, you can use our Hatteras red wine, whatever your favorite wine, but we call for either pumpkin or Hatteras, and there's some other things in there too. And if you go to our website, you can find it, and it's going to be under the mulled wine slushy. But these things are amazing. And with that cider in there, what you think of when you think of cider is you think of something a little bit hot, right? So what we're going to pair with these are hot tamales. I love hot tamales. I don't like the hot sun, you know, that's not good for my complexion, but I do like the hot tamales. Oh. Those Duplin wine mulling spices that are in there, you put that in your mouth, that slushy, and then one of these hot tamales, it intensifies that mulled spice, and it is a great flavor in your mouth. It reminds me, I'll tell you what that reminds me of. It reminds me of the night I went out and we had a cinnamon whiskey drink. That's kind of what that reminds me of. I think you guys are going to love this. In fact, I'm going to have another sip of that. That brings us to the end of our trick-or-treat wine tasting. I hope you have had a good time. I see the sun starting to come up, and I hear a rooster crowing, so I think it's time for me to get back into my coffin. But you guys have a great, great trick-or-treating season, Halloween season, and I hope to see you next year. Thank you for joining me for our trick-or-treat tasting. A good night.